So in this case, the same with company. We raise more money, and with that, we have to do things more, right? But the thing is this: having more money do not guarantee you a success. A market mechanism must be done well. Remember, money is neutral. It's a magnifying glass. If you do not know how to make money, I give you more capital, you will lose the money also. If you know how to make money, you can make $1. I give you all the money, they can make a lot of dollars, right? So a lot of people say that, oh, I don't have capital. No, it's not. You must know how to do your market mechanism well. Then we do capital mechanism on top. Because capital mechanism is a magnifying glass. Kata besar. If you magnify your situation, that's all.
So for seed series, how many series that we can do?
Okay. Well, this one, okay, how I say. I travel a lot. When I was 27 years old, I graduated. I got married. 7 days after I got married, I fly. And I fly all the way until 54 years old. From 27 years old. Every time I fly. When I fly for 20 over days. Multiple country. So I buy a bag called Samsonite. The biggest one. If too big, it's called odd size. So I buy the legal one. The big size, the airplane is going to accept. So I was very happy with that. Okay. One day I went to Paris. My luggage didn't arrive. The airline gave me 200 euro. I thought it's very good. But in Paris, 200 euro, you cannot buy anything. You bought one jacket, that's it. And the luggage didn't come 3 days later, but 3 days I'm already in Nice at the Côte d'Azur. So the luggage also have to chase me. So after that, I become panic. I travel light. So now I buy a small travel bag. So I buy a lot of clothing, which are actually bought from Uniqlo, very thin. What's good about that? You can wash. So when you wash your clothing, after you wash, what you do? You must squeeze dry. Alright. After that, you swing it again. You squeeze again. Still got water. After that, what you do? You swing it again. Squeeze until no water, right? Right. So fundraising is the same. As long as you squeeze water, raise fund again. Squeeze to water, raise fund again. Squeeze, no one invest anymore. IPO.
Bro.
I know how to squeeze also.
But you see, you squeeze the water, raise one more round. Series B. Series C. So that's why people like grab Series L, M, N, O, P, Q also come out. But most of the time I tell you Series A, B, C enough. But those people really squeeze, Uber, squeeze, because there's a lot of water. Somehow they squeeze this water, right? You get the idea?
Doctor, but maybe what you can add is, when do we stop the seed round, which is up to angel to go to VC?
When you run out of your friends, family and fools. Because you realize one thing, initially you raise fund from people that know you, your friends, your family, correct? Once in a while they bring a friend that you don't know, okay? So that was still okay because it's someone that he introduced, you won't get problem with the SC. After a while you realize that no matter how you roadshow, nobody invests. You roadshow again, nobody invests because all those who trust you already squeezed dry already. Now you have to move towards institution. You have to find people like a company, and so on. After a while, the company also squeezed dry. You have to find Tabung Haji, LTAT, PNB, okay, Teraju, all this. So you move to an institution, then you cannot be doing this already. You have to find Brunei Investment Agency, you have to find Qatari Diyar, you find Temasek, Khazanah. So then you know that you're entering Series A, Series B, Series C already because you're dealing with these guys. And these guys are going to force you one thing. They want the KPI. They want you to have profit target. So you realize that now you cannot just go and tell them the concept anymore. You have to do the KPI. It's an institutional round. That's when we enter Series A, Series B, Series C, and so on. So and at this juncture, Tabung Haji will say, how much you want, Zach? Roughly.
Me, 100 million.
Then they will invest. You don't go tell them they want 2 million. They cannot invest. Too small. It won't do a dent to the bottom line. Like Temasek, you must invest 100 million and above. Less than 100 million don't come to see Temasek. Right? So you must understand institutional, you must be big enough. Like one time, there's a company called Ups Global, Dr. Tam, we are doing all the vaccine and all the lab, right? So he wants to meet the institutional very early. He was actually very, very frightened that he would get institutional. So I arranged for him to see the Brunei Investment Agency. So when we went to Brunei asked, how much you want? Just bear in mind, Brunei dollar is 3 times our currency, is like Sing dollar.
Yeah.
So Dr. Tam said, I need 10 million. Brunei was silent and then he laughed. So small, so small. So your 10 million is big for you, but for them it's too small.
Right.
Right? So if you are thinking of ringgit, you should ask for 50 million. Minimum is 10 million US for someone. Right? And do you realize that even our friend go to see them out? Who else is institutional? Like nowadays, people raise fund from listed company, right? Like Masing just invested recently into another company, right? And you can look at people like Top Glove, people like Kosan, all this stuff. So at the end of the day, Ups got the investment from Kosan and so on. Either the company or the bosses themselves, they are rich individual, right? So never say no. Give yourself the chance. Berani jumpa. Don't say no one invests in you. Have you met Dan Zanuddin? You haven't met him. Sam Mukhtar Bukhari? Belum jumpa lagi. Robert Kwok? Never see him yet. Yeah, then how you say nobody invests in you? So I always challenge my CFO. Nobody invests. Do you invest? Never. This one? Never. This one? Do you contact? Never. Come on, man. Right? So we must contact all these guys. Hendrik, don't laugh. You haven't go to see the Silver Lake. Correct not?
Doctor, how about the dilution?
Yes.
Yeah, dilution depends on the money you want, right? Right. Then how much you are willing to give your share away. That's the reason why we say that you are the best valuer. For example, I need 7 million, but I only willing to give 5%. It's 7 million for I don't need 5%. This means, right? I'm 140 million valuation. Right? That's why I say that we are the best valuer, because based on what we are willing to give, we created a value.
Understand.
If we keep going out and getting more money like that, right, Dr. Wong, is that then wouldn't we be putting ourselves like a big expectation on our KPI later on? Is that something?
Yes, that's why you have to balance it. That's why I was asked by CEO. You say this whole thing, then I ask CFO, so what's your KPI? Because when you write a big thing, your KPI based on the PE ratio, then he has to do it, correct or not?
Yeah.
And he must prove to me that he can do it. So our duty is to check on, we are board of directors, right? We have to check on the CEO, the smart guy, the CFO and the CEO. When you say such a big valuation, then this is what is the KPI. And chances are your CEO, CFO, CEO do not know how to do a KPI. So that's our next lecture. We'll tell you how to calculate the KPI, right? So once you got a KPI, then we have to do the test. Can it achieve?
Okay.
Right? Otherwise, they simply pluck from the sky again.
Yeah lah. Saya ask. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the next lecture already. Very fast. Actually, the FRM lecture, financial roadmap lecture, that's the one that we want to talk about. Okay, Ranjan Zo, anything? Yeah.
Dr. Wong Leong here.
Leong,
Dr. Wong, I heard you mention just now about the loyalty from investing in chips. Is something new to me. Can have more elaboration from you.
Oh, now it's very easy already. Now all sorts of product you can find in the USA. You look for all the for example, let's say I know that there's a shortage of chip, right?
Yeah.
But I do not know which chip company is good, man. Right? And I also not a specialist, I do not know. So what I buy those portfolio that have all this chip company. So I just buy their shares lah. Right? Like crypto. I make some money when I make quite a bit of money. Last year around April, I bought Ethereum. Then Ethereum shot all the way up, so I sold Ethereum. After I sold, Ethereum dropped, so I buy back Ethereum. After they go up again, I sold Ethereum again. Right? Then I bought some Bitcoin. So I become very excited because we all believe that wow, crypto is going to be big. So the whole MOC friends everyone will buy Bitcoin and all these things. So I become greedy. I want to buy this, I want to buy that. So Marcus, Rayson, all want to buy all this. I also don't know what to buy. I started to buy this 21 cryptocurrency. So this portfolio have 21 crypto. I buy one, I buy all People like me lazy but it's instant like that. So I buy all. Right? But I buy very high. It dropped 30%. Because crypto dropped. But all the 21 crypto also dropped. Okay, only about last week it went up a bit. Now also dropped. So now I just break even. But the money I made from the first few rounds was quite good. So what you need to do, you can buy portfolio of 21 crypto, okay, or how many chips, 5 or 6 chips. I also bought robotics, right? Because I think that the future will be something like that. So instead of buying one company and so on, recently what we buy, Alibaba, right? Because Alibaba dropped by 50% already. So a few of us, the doctors, all these people who income is not affected, they all buy Alibaba. So we all buy Alibaba shares. Right? So we think the long term that the trade must still go on. So these are the things we buy. And recently Marcus told me we buy what we call that game.
Diamond.
What? Diamond.
Ketua Wong.
Leon.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like for about preparing the IM. So do we need to prepare the IM at every stage of our round?
You see, the good thing is that, you see, last time I wasn't so brilliant. I'm quite dumb. Actually, I'm a very dumb guy. I must bang the wall 3 times. Then I think I learn one. I am the type to bang the wall and still bang the wall again. So what I do, I pay 300,000 Sing dollar to KPMG to do my prospectus. Correct? How many times I use the prospectus? 1 time. IPO lah, 1 time. I should have built my prospectus at the beginning. Next round I recycle I do some changes. Next round I recycle, I do some changes. Next round, so I can stretch the use many times. So we are going to submit the prospectus every time we raise fund, we edit a bit, we upgrade a bit, we edit, we upgrade, we pivot a bit, then we do. So you do now is good because you can use many times.
I see.
It's more baloy we do more time. So if you don't do it, next time you also have to do it, but use 1 time.
Yeah.
Dr. Wong.
Yep.
Thank you, Dr.
Hello, Dr. Wong.
Yes.
Okay, something to ask about the high net worth individual, right? So for any fundraising, if the investor they want to invest in the fundraising, then they need to sign out. They need to declare themselves is high net worth individual per year that their income is more than 300,000.
Yeah.
Okay, but some people actually they don't have this kind of income, but they got the money to invest. So
right.
if they sign the document, right? Is that this is good? Is a good protection for the company? Okay, but how about the investor?
Yeah, it's good. You know why? If you declare whether you pay tax or not, you pay tax overseas. You must understand. Malaysian tax and Singapore same. Singapore called Inland Revenue Authority. Overseas revenue, no tax. Malaysia is lembaga hasil dalam negeri. Luar negeri, no tax.
Oh.
So for me, funny, I fly so many countries. I fly about 15 countries a year. Then I always do business. In Singapore, you only pay tax if you spend more than 180 days there. Actually, I have no country I spend more than 30 days out. Because I'm flying here, I'm flying there, I'm flying here, right there. The only thing I spend 180 days, I think probably is an airplane. So I don't know where to pay tax. So Singapore government asked me just pay nominal tax. So I pay nominal tax lah. There's an architect there, I just pay a nominal tax. Most of my income is from overseas. And my partner will settle the event or whatever, they pay the small token tax there. So I get my money back. All the money is from overseas. So Singapore government never tax me. So that's the reason why Singapore become a very hot hotbed for money, because they don't tax you. Overseas money they don't tax. Singapore only do one thing, to prove your money is clean. Okay, already. You prove your money is clean, it's okay already.
Well,
So the money must come from a valid event. Now, so if that's the case, so if the investor willing to declare, the good thing is that he will get tax free. In the future, when he go IPO, all that will be tax free. Let's say you invest 50,000, right? You invest 50,000 into a project called Super Big, for example. So at the end of the IPO, maybe it become 12 times. You have 600,000, right? The gain is the capital gain is tax free.
Yes, capital gain is tax free. Yes.
But
my
Malaysia government now wants to change a bit. They want to do capital gain tax. You know what will happen? People like Marcus, people like Wong, Nash, all will go Singapore set up company already.
Yeah. They are
That's the
doing this
fastest way
one.
to chase people away. Even though Hisham will do a company in Singapore already. Because you know why? There's like tax free, you want to tax here. It's across the border only, man.
So my question just now, I still got some blur. Okay, so if invest in Malaysia company, but we cannot prove to the income tax.
No, income tax has nothing to do with this one.
Nothing to do with this one.
The one you submit to them cannot be passed on. They don't pass on to income tax one. Cannot. It's against the law.
Or they want to just keep in the corset there.
Data collected cannot be transferred across department one. Only Communist China can. Communist China can do that. The rest cannot.
Also, if not harmful to the investor, you just declare that one.
By right, even I'm an organization called, let's say I'm called Nestle. Nestle Thailand collect information. Nestle Taiwan cannot take one. Information cannot be ported across your company, and cannot be ported across national boundary. Illegal.
Oh. Okay. So
okay, now for example, you have a lot of information, data mining, we are teaching data mining in Arima series. Simon, let's say you collect a lot of data, Marcus want to use it. You cannot sell him the data. You can broadcast on his behalf. You spend for him. Marcus pay money, so Simon, you spend for him. So that can. But if he pay money to sell the data, it's also illegal now. It's not legal. You two guys are doing something that's illegal. Data have to be, when you rent data, you don't transfer, no? You broadcast on his behalf. It's called rental. It's a royalty access to your intellectual property.
Oh, okay.
Okay, like that. I want you to also think like that. Simon, you are a photographer, right? And you are taking photograph. You saw Kisha from Precession. You click her, right? Now this picture. Who has the ownership of this picture? Kisha or you?
Kisha.
No,
me. I'm the
creator of the content.
Yes, I'm the.
She can be a lamppost for all you care.
Yes.
Right? So actually people have to pay you the rights. Correct?
Yes.
Now, but Kisha is a famous singer. She's like Sheila Majid, like that. But my era is Sheila Majid. Now you shoot her. She can also request, because she's a personally public, she's an asset. She's a film star, she's the brand name. Then you have to share your royalty with her. You get the idea?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Marcus wants to see your picture. He thinks this picture of Kisha is so unique, so lively. Marcus wants to sell this picture. He make a thing called NFT, right? To prove that this thing is real, and you are going to sell to many people, each one slice of the rights to own this whole thing. So Marcus is going to create a product. So Marcus is just a project manager. He may make some money from the whole thing. You are the asset owner. The other guys are called licensee, right? They are paying a rights to use this whole thing. And when this whole thing is sold, they have a rights to the profit of this whole thing. So you see the world getting very complex right now. It's not straightforward anymore.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, okay.
Doctor,
Yeah.
do you cross any case that if someone transfer money from his account to our and to invest as a seed, that after that the HLSDN cash this investor, saying that this how does this guy get the money from?
Okay, first of all, I to play safe. You see, the government all don't want to be responsible. They always push it to you, right, Zach? So my suggestion is that first of all, you must know the guy. At least you do your part. You ask the question. You give a form. Let him fill up. Let him sign a declaration. This is the minimum thing we as a normal people can do. I cannot force you. What's the thing? I cannot. But I can give you a piece of paper. Ask the question. You must find your sign. Then I've done my part. Me as a director, Sudan, I've done my duty to know you well. Okay. Second thing, I also do not know your money clean or not clean, right?
Yeah.
Firstly, I want you your money. Don't give me cash. You want to give cash? Bank in. Bank into your bank account. Transfer to me. So the onus is on the bank. The bank accepted the bank in. I would assume that you bank have checked already, then you transfer to me, it must be clean. So these two things will solve your money laundering and also the other thing, your know your client. So these are the two processes that we can do to protect ourselves. Okay. Easy, one, they self-declare, right? By you asking a few questions for them to answer. Right? So you know him. Right?
So
and ideally you have a piece of paper lah.
If this guy, let's say, okay, partially invest, is it possible?
There's no such thing as partially invest. If they want to partially invest but don't want to take the whole tranche, and then you do private transfer, like Nash like that. Nash always do private transfer. Let's say here you have 6,000 shares, you sell him 400 shares. Then the one is not subject to the tranches and lot. So they can do partially like that. Right. So one way for you is like that. Zach, you buy yourself the shares, then you sell those shares to Marcus, to Kisha, to Noor Hisham, and Simon. So you just transfer like that. It's possible.
See. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Now, you know why this is very important? Is it possible that Nash now, he actually has some shares and he may need the money in the future?
Yeah.
Why would I invest in Ahmad Tamidi's project? Because now he's a seed round. Means subsequent round, the price is going to go up. We know that. Why? Yeah. Because the going up is controlled by a guy called Ahmad Tamidi, not the market yet. Before you go IPO, the price is controlled by one guy called Ahmad Tamidi, correct or not? His financial roadmap. And he showed me the roadmap, insiders or more. He showed me the roadmap. Now, this means if I hold some shares in him, the share price is going to go up. Am I right?
Yeah.
Then how do I benefit? Ahmad must not put a clause on my share that he must buy back, so that I can freely transfer. So I find a guy called Nash who want to buy my shares. But Nash, why won't buy my share? Because he cannot afford to buy a tranche and a lot. Yeah. Nash only want to buy 300 shares from me. So I'm selling to Nash 300 shares at the prevailing sekarang, the market price which Ahmad Tamidi is calling. If Nash want to buy for Ahmad Tamidi, then he have to pay a tranche and a lot which Nash don't have enough money. Right. So Nash have no choice but to buy from me. So you can see that this will allow me to have a lot of liquidity.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Dr. Wong, just want to check on the revenue sharing. Okay, let's say what we start the project, new project, we provide the land, and the other party actually provide the expertise and the capital to grow durian, for example. Okay, but for the first few, maybe 5 years, you don't have the income. So basically, when we go for revenue sharing, means that when that will be happen only when they start generating revenue.
That's why they plant the banana in the middle. We call the crop thing temporary crops. That's the reason.
So that one also it should be shared. Also.
Like we plant the serai in the middle also. Yeah. Here the banana, the serai, then these are the durian. And to make it worse, people like me, I plant kacang also. You know why?
Okay.
Because kacang only 3 months, Now, and I do that because it makes the kacang means groundnut, a peanut or groundnut.
Yeah.
Okay, because it actually ties the nitrate. When I plant the kacang or the peanut, I save on my fertilizer. So it gives a lot of short-term yield. So that's what I do. When you do all these kind of things, you have to design the thing. Otherwise, durian, maybe sometimes 7 years only you get the kind of yield. Then people will die.
Yeah. That means that whatever revenue from that project should be shared.
Yes. Okay. True. For example, let's say I'm doing a tuition center. I'm doing a school, right? A school. So I charge my student monthly fees, right? Kindergarten, say. But what do I have? I have a building, right? Correct. And the kindergarten student will have left the building by 7 p.m. latest, even if they do after school care. Now from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., the building is empty. Can I do tuition? But I cannot. But maybe the tuition teacher is Nash. He's an independent contractor. So Nash using my place have to either pay me rental or revenue share. Now, if you use revenue share, then it is a kind of royalty actually, right? He's using my property, my assets, right? So I cannot work on profit sharing with Nash. I want to take a cut of his turnover. Every student, how much I take a cut. So I've created a whole new royalty business model based on the building that I have. I invested in a kopitiam. It's very funny. There was this coffee shop. Now they were actually trading in the back lane. Okay, they were trading the back lane. So we decided to save the Petaling Street. So we took one old building from 1950s. From 1950, this family, okay, was Hogao, okay, Hogao kopitiam, Hainanese kopitiam. They were doing in this back lane. This is actually a lane. Then the government wanted them to, at their place go. So a few of us took this shop and renovated the shop into the old style. Now this shop is not the traditional shop, right? We actually created an old style coffee shop inside the brick, all these other things, old fashioned tile. And this shop becomes so popular, even during MCO, long queue. Except the queue now become linear. Last time is all take a number. You take a number, you wait for your turn to go in. This is one of my most lucrative investment. Now, what we have done was we have created a whole new, how do I say, asset, a menu, look and feel, that we can actually franchise this whole thing, right? And everybody, even from Singapore, they have to come to this kopitiam. And actually, it's not even a real one. There's no shop like that in 1950s. Okay, it's 1954. Yes, it's 1954. But they are actually on the roadside, tepi jalan. It is us who shipped them into this building, and we created this ambient. It is designed, right, to make an old building. So it is very funny because at the end of the day, people all come to eat this type of thing, which you can find in any place in Malaysia. But people still want to come to this shop. So again, we have created a kind of royalty scheme. So if I start to franchise this whole thing, I royalty. And this one is so profitable, we getting about 2 million a year.
Oh.
Crazy, really crazy. I also cannot understand till now.
Where is it again, Doctor?
The Petaling Street, the new
Petaling
hotel is near the police station there.
Oh.
Every police that you know,
HSLE lah.
Where
Where the MRT tunnels underground lagi.
Yeah.
One time they want to demolish
So
that because of that.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is very funny. This means that every small town in Malaysia can do one thing like that. Because every small town has something unique. Whether it's like in Kelantan, the nasi apa tu, nasi berlauk, nasi
Nasi
dagang,
berlauk.
nasi berlauk.